Hello and welcome back to another deck profile, this time featuring Jesmon in the bt14 meta, using the recently unbanned saviourhuckmon. Jesmon's back to full power, and yeah, I actually managed to win locals with it, which was quite a surprise because I didn't expect it to work out so well. But without further ado, here's a deck profile. I'm going to speed through it a little bit and then, talk about stuff near the end. First off, for eggs, we are running just 4 Guimon. Drawing cards is important. In order to OTK or just beat your opponent as fast as possible, you really need to have all the right combo pieces. Even if you already have Jesmon and a Systemon, there's a lot of other cards that you would like to draw to ensure the best outcome. So drawing one's really good. You only need 4 eggs because you either win or lose pretty fast. So another option is the starter deck Guimon that gives plus 1,000. That actually does come up a bit. I do wish Jesmon did have an extra 1,000 sometimes. But the extra draw just increases consistency, so it's really hard to pass up on that. So 4 Guimon. For level 3s, the ratios are a little weird. I run 3 of the bt6 Huckmon, 4 of the bt13 Huckmon, 2 bt7 Huckmon, and 1 of the security Huckmon. This Huckmon only useful for your stack because it only has an inherited ability, nothing else. But I still like running 2 because sometimes you really need a Systemon. If you're not playing Systemon every turn with Jesmon, or 2 Systemons if you're attacking twice, you're just not getting your full value. So this helps you actually see a Systemon. This Huckmon's the best if you already have the full stack because it gives you the extra memory. The your turn effect to digivolve into Balhuck for free if you play a Systemon doesn't actually come up that often because I normally don't push out of raising that fast. If your opponent is a bit slower to get their setup, then it's good because it's kind of free digivolution. But I mainly use it for its inheritable to gain a memory. Keeping a turn with a lot of memory gaining is important in this deck. This Huckmon is, I still consider it basically one of the best searches in the whole game. It reveals top 5 and you add any Digimon in the whole archetype. Any Huckmon in its name, Jesmon, Systemon, and you add any 2 cards. So it's actually crazy. There's no way you don't grab 2 cards with this. Obviously, you might not see everything, but it's top 5. So this is the security Huckmon, the one that if it battles in security, you can pop something with 4k or less, and if you don't draw one. I just ran this because I thought it was funny. If you're playing seriousness, I would drop this because it's just too unreliable to have in security, and I would just bump the searcher up to 4 for more consistency. You can't really have too much consistency in this deck, but feel free to run this if you like, or feel free to add one of this, take out one of these, or if you don't like the system on searching, you can take out that. I just thought it was kind of funny because it's good against Bloom Lord, good against Commandramon, if they hit it in security, but never actually came up in security. What a surprise, running 1 copy, never came up. But just a funny option. Yeah, that's the ratios I ran. Again, my recommended would be taking this out and just running 4 of that. That's it for the level 3s. The Systemons I will do near the end, so at first we're just going through the Huckmon lines. Next we run 4 of the bt13 Huckmon, 3 of the bt6 Balhuck, and 1 of the Greymon that gives security attack +1. This Huckmon, same inheritable, gain in memory, which is why we love it. It also has the same effect if you play Systemon to Digivolve for 2 less. This one actually comes up more than Huckmon. Because it's level 4, it's closer to reaching Jesmon. If we can play a Systemon and Digivolve into Savior, and it's either still our turn, or the Savior lets us play a Systemon to go into Jesmon that turn. It just makes us go into Jesmon that turn faster, basically. So this effect comes up more often because it's safer to move this out of raising and go into Jesmon than move Huckmon and then leave yourself with level 4 or 5 out in the open. So both effects are nice. This one comes and goes in the meta. If you asked me a set ago if this was good, I would say it's trash. You'd only like popping rookies. But right now, loving this. It's so good. It pops so much stuff. You know, obviously they have to have stuff out and not beat you that turn. But the for those that don't know, it's when attacking, if you have a Systemon, pop something with 5k or less. Again, good against Bloom, good against Fenrir, good against Commandramon. And there's just a lot of decks going wide at the moment, so the popping 5k or less comes up all the time. Actually did way better than I expected. This is again just trying out one of the security attack +1 Greymons. If you have this in your stack and you're able to swing twice with the Jesmon, you can go through all 5 security in one turn. So this definitely opens up OTK potentials. However, running out of 1 was not the right ratio for when I played. Again, I still won, so I mean, can't complain. But this actually never came up. I would either take this out and just run 4 of this Huckmon, because it actually worked out really well. Or I would take out 1 more Huckmon, either reduce this to 2 or reduce this to 3, in order to run 2 Greymon, just to increase the chance of actually seeing it. Again, if you see this with the full combo, you can one-shot the opponent, but it's just not searchable. These are more consistent and generally useful even if you don't OTK, whilst this is very linear in what it does. So, I'm not sure, but yeah, 1 is not the right ratio. You got to up it to 2 or run 0. For level 5s, we run, back off the ban list, we run 4 of the bt14 Savior Huckmon. Both of its effects are good. If you bring it out, bring out the Huck and go into this, you can play Systemon for free, which is always nice. You know, the Systemon can potentially gain you a memory or help you Digivolve into Jesmon instantly. And it's when attacking is the main use of it. If you have a Systemon in play, which you always should when attacking, you unsuspend. So it lets you attack twice as long as you keep it your turn. And with the starter deck Jesmon, this will be, 4 checks at security. Again, with any kind of security boost, you hit 6 or 5. But yeah, just really good for the deck. Lets you go into Jesmon faster, lets you hit harder. Only downside is that it's when Digivolving plays a Systemon, so you're really relying on your Jesmon attacking twice in order to play multiple Systemons with this card. And then the other level 5 is just 2 copies of the bt14 Savior Huckmon. Again, if you play Systemon, you can Digivolve into Jesmon for 2 less, just like all the other bt14 line. The effect didn't come up that often, but it is, it's alright. This effect is actually really nice because it lets you play a Systemon when attacking from hand or trash. It's one of only 2 ways of playing Systemons from the trash in this deck now, and that allows you to recycle, get your pieces you need. So both are good. Only 6. You notice that the ratios for all of these are really low, but we have so much draw and searching that it's alright. For the level 6s, as shown at the beginning, we run 4 copies of the starter deck Jesmon. It's got it all. It's got the Blitz, plays out Systemon. It's got security attack built into it as long as you play a Systemon, and it boosts itself up to 15k. Only downside is the 4 evo costs. Even though you blitz, you attack anyways. It makes it a little harder to keep it your turn. So sometimes you don't always, you wish it was 3 just so it's a little bit easier to keep your turn, but that'd make it a little bit too broken perhaps. Downside is without any Systemon seal or other form of DP boost, you're only 15,000, which is big, but means if you hit like a Death X or Quartzmon, anything like that, which are both meta, you will just die to them in security and probably lose the game. So you really want some form of DP boost just so you're over 15. Also note that it's when attacking effect is not once per turn. This security attack is once per turn, but the when attacking is not once per turn. So when we use the saviourhuckmon, the old saviourhuckmon, to attack twice, we will play 2 Systemons with this. And that's kind of the point of the deck. We're really relying on the old saviourhuckmon and this to be your bread and butter. To round out the level 6s, 2 copies of Jesmon X. It's never our go-to Jesmon to go into, because after it does its when digivolving effect, it actually doesn't really do anything else, like, ever. I mean, it's got piercing and stuff, but I only use it after I've done my first or second swing with this. I just go into this to play a Systemon from hand or trash for free. The ability to attack unsuspended and the piercing does come up. Again, we can make our Jesmon do 1 swing, unsuspend, then go into this, and then pierce through something with the second attack. But yeah, it's more just a boost to this Jesmon. Like, I really consider 4 level 6s as pretty much the only thing we go into. And then this is like an extra power up, or it can be used on not our main stack, but like a secondary stack. So that's why I feel 2's fine, because it's really not our go-to. Now to go into the Systemons. These are very flexible, so you can change it how you want. But I ran for level 3s 2 of the bt6 Systemon Blanc and 2 of the starter deck Systemon Blanc. This one is the better draw support, because you trash 1 to draw 2, and that's just overall better. You trash whatever you have in excess. If you have multiple level like 5s or 6s, you trash 1, draw 2. So it overall is better searching. The decoy doesn't come up that much. There's not that many effects that would pop the Jesmon, but it's nice to have. It just means they can't just like beat it too easily, I guess. But it doesn't come up often. We mainly just use it for the draw support. The original Systemon Blanc, its blocker is still fantastic. People are making wide boards, and we want to protect ourselves as much as possible. It doesn't really help us with the OTK at all, but we often don't OTK. Like, ideally we do, right? But often I find myself hitting just 4 security with the option to hit a 5th security, and so many times I leave them on 1 or 0 security in past turn. So we really need some blockers, just so we don't lose the turn after, because all we need to do is survive 1 turn and then we win the next turn after. So I really recommend 2 of this. Some people don't run it, and if you don't run it, you have to go full into the OTK, otherwise you'll lose. So that's my Blanc ratios. For the level 4s, we run more level 4s than 3s. We go 3 of the original BT6 seal, 2 of the BT10 seal, and 1 of the starter deck seal. These ratios should be pretty self-explanatory. This seal is by far my favorite one. It's just a memory whenever you play it, which really helps with our turn. If we have the bt13 Huckmon, the bt13 Bow Huckmon, we go into Jesmon and we play out this Systemon. That's 3 memory we gain, which makes it really easy to keep at our turn. Not only that, but she also gives plus 2000 DP during all turns to her Huckmons and Royal Knights, and this lets us hit over level 7s, and also makes it a little harder for us to be beaten over during the opponent's turn as well. But having one of these out is essential for our gameplay, so you have to run at least 3. This Systemon doesn't come up as much. It's mainly in case we need to go in Jesmon ASAP, because she will let us Digivolve into Jesmon on play, or go into Jesmon X on play. So it's really good if we're trying to go up the line really fast. For example, saviourhuckmon, the bt14 one, can play her out, and then she'll Digivolve into Jesmon, and then Jesmon will Blitz, which means we can go into a Jesmon. If we have a Huckmon, we can start going into Jesmon from 1 memory, because we just pass turn and we just keep going up. She also gains 1 memory when we need Digivolve. Obviously the 1 memory gain isn't as good as just a memory. It requires us to Digivolve to gain a memory, but she's still nice. And then finally, 1 copy of the starter deck Systemon. She's my least favourite. But she's a searcher, so she does help with consistency, and I really wanted a level 4 that searches. The level 4 is really important, and it's why we run more level 4 Systemons than level 3s. And that's because of a card that's going to come up right after this. The reboot doesn't come up often at all. Jesmon's normally so big that the opponent can't beat over it. We either can block if they attack it, or we've already gotten them down to 0 security, so it doesn't matter as much if it gets deleted. So the reboot doesn't matter as much in this deck. Matters more in a GX focused build. Anyway, those are the Systemon ratios. Now for the non-archetype cards, 2 copies of Chimeramon. This actually boosts our level 5 count from 6 to 8. So even though the 6 level 5 seems low, we actually run kind of the standard 8 if you count the Chimeramons. Absolutely game breaking for this deck. It lets us use our Systemons to go into another Jesmon, and then we can Blitz, and that's really good. It lets us use Systemons to go into Chimeramon to swing for game. It also just lets us get rid of a lot of weak Digimon. Again, boards are going surprisingly wide in bt14. So giving things minus 2000, which is all we can do in this deck, is actually surprisingly good. We can take out a number of rookies, we can take out Commandramons, we can weaken stuff, so Chimeramon itself can beat over things even at just 8k. Yeah, it's just a surprisingly good card, versatile card. It helps us do Jesmon, helps us win, helps us to get rid of whiteboards. Some whiteboards, really weak whiteboards. But yeah, just Chimeramon actually came up super clutch. Really loving the card. The last Digimon we run is 2 copies of Omnimon. Again, we are an OTK focused build, so we really want as many ways to OTK as possible. We have both Chimeramon and Omnimon as ways to get kind of like extra checks on the opponent's security. It's also Royal Knight, so it's searchable by a number of cards in the deck. Not too many, but enough that it's, kind of cool. This can be cuttable to 1. I didn't actually end up using it that often. In saying that, having 1's really nice. So running 2 just makes it easier to see the 1 copy. And I was always like, oh, got the 1 copy, it's there if I need it. But if we're only running 1 copy, maybe you just never see it, and you're like, drats, have game if I would have had it. So ran to Omnimon. It worked out alright, but you're welcome to reduce it to 1 if you don't like 2. Finally, for options, these are very personal preference. 3 for Master Disciple. Even with the new training options, this is still the one we generally prefer, because it searches anything in the archetype, not just red cards. We can grab Systemons, or we can make Systemons go to trash, because it trashes the rest anyways. We still have 2 cards that play from trash. The delay only reduces the Digivolution cost by 1, not 2. But the fact it's a better searcher card, and because it's got Royal Highness traits, it's searchable itself, makes it really useful to get what we need. So technically, if we already have all the pieces, it's not as good. But it's better to help us make our end game. So 3 of that. 1 red memory boost. Memory boost serves the purpose that the Master Disciple and training doesn't serve, and it lets us get memory to play a system on and still keep it our turn. Sometimes we need to play a system on to trigger effects, and we don't want to just reduce the Digivolution cost. We want to get the memory to play a system on to then reduce the Digivolution cost with any of our bt14 line. So this serves an important role that the other cards don't. Again, it will bottom deck all your Systemons, Commandmon, Omnimon, so it does bottom deck a lot of stuff, but it's still very useful. 1 copy of Offense Training. I just wanted to try it out. Honestly, it worked not too bad. Not much else to say. It's the worst searcher out of all the 3, but it gives the best return because it only costs 2 and it gives 2 back. So take that as you will. Last card, Medical, Crimson Blaze. Again, a lot of boards going wide, a lot of boards playing Digimon by card effects. Crimson Blaze take care of all of them. Yeah, and that's it for the Jesmon deck. Feel free to ask any questions about ratios. I know a lot of the cards... This was purely testing. Haven't played Jesmon in this format at all. So a lot of cards I would probably slightly change the ratios. But this is what I played and won with, so that's why that's in the video. These options, you can really change these options however you want. You like more red memory boost, up it to 2. You like offensive training, up it to 2. You like the Master Disciple, up it to 4. You want more removal, take out Omnimon, put in 2 Crimson Blaze instead. There's a lot of flexibility because so little of a line, like this itself, 10, 8, 6, 6. That's all for the Huckmon line, which gives us so much room to adjust the ratios of Systemons and all the other cards. That's what I like about the deck. You can really tailor it to your personal playstyle. Anyways, video is long enough, so that's all for now. Feel free to check out any other videos, give suggestions for future videos, and let me know what you think. Bye!